And welcome to your Wednesday Cup of Cyber. New York has got our illy coffee all locked up. You can see in the background we've got the pirate flag flying to indicate it's Wednesday. Normally we talk about vulnerabilities and threats. As it would happen, perfect, because we're going to dive in this week to Domain 1, or Subject 1.6 of Domain 1, which is explaining the impact associated with the types of vulnerabilities. There's a bunch of stuff we're going to go over. We're going to cover kind of the overview this morning, hopefully knock through the rest of this domain this week. It's going to be jammed in, probably doing 3 or 4 videos a day. To get it done, maybe have to do some this weekend, just to get them out there and get through Domain 1. We're trying to get through Domain 1. It's a lot of stuff to cover. It's a lot of stuff in Domain 1. I keep saying how much stuff is in Domain 1. It's just, this is setting the foundation. The foundation is being set for the way that you are going to drive forward in Security Plus, in security as a career, just knowing cybersecurity. This is the foundational level. This is where we all get it started. So that's the big plan for today. We kind of took a poll and not a lot of feedback, but the feedback we got indicated we're going to do trivia night not this Friday, but next Friday. So there won't be a trivia night this Friday. There will be a trivia night next Friday. We'll see if anybody can unseat Mike Bravo. He is the current trivia champ. Gets an extra week on his reign. If he's back next Friday, he may just continue to hold it. He smoked it last time. So we'll see how you guys do next Friday at Trivia Night. But today is the 13th of May, and that means it's Leprechaun Day. Why it's not March, I don't know. Why they picked May 13th, totally don't know. Don't know why they do this. This guy knows. He's happy. He's the happy dancing 13th of May Leprechaun for no apparent reason. But if you need to know a weird holiday for the day, it is Leprechaun Day. It's also School Nurses Day. It's whole part of School Nurse Week, or part of Nurses Week, I should say. All part of Nurses Week. The Wednesday of Nurses Week is devoted to school nurses, so you may not be thinking about them while school is out in most places, but a lot of the school nurses are working other jobs, beating back this coronavirus craziness that's going on. So, I guess that's about enough to talk about. There's craziness going on in the world, craziness going on in cyber. So let's just cut to the cutscene, and then we'll get back. We'll talk about Subject 1.6, talking about vulnerabilities, really. I'm Jim with Cyber-Recon. Look at that background changed real quick. Let's change that before we jump into stuff. There we go. Normal Cyber-Recon background. Let's put a little bit of a blur on it, just so it's not so much the focus. Okay, now we can go. I'm Jim with Cyber-Recon. As always, hoping you'll like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified when new content comes out. Share with your friend. And as always, if something strikes you, good, bad, or indifferent, comment below. Let us know about it, because we want to, of course, make things better. Today we're driving on with what we need to know for our Security Plus certification. We're taking care of the last subject in Domain 1, and that is 1.6. Explain the impact associated with types of vulnerabilities. This video will be the overview of this subject, and then we'll dive into it in future videos. So let's dive into the slide deck and see what this looks like. So we're comparing and contrasting types of attacks. That's Domain 1. This is 1.6, explain the impact associated with types of vulnerabilities. So let's jump in. And of course, first and foremost, let's understand what a vulnerability is. And this is a definition from Wikipedia, even though it's not on the screen. Actually, this is a definition from NIST. I take that back. This is a definition from NIST, even though it's not on the screen. A weakness in an information system, a system security procedure, internal controls, or an implementation that could be exploited or triggered by a threat source. And as always, we think about this. The term vulnerability and the object vulnerability is a critical part of the basic risk formula. We're talking about the most basic formula for risk, right? And that basic formula is a vulnerability plus a threat equals a risk. And that's as bone basic as it can be, right? So without a vulnerability, there is no risk. Without a threat, there is no risk. So you have to have both. You have to have vulnerability and a threat. So you have to have a weakness in the system plus something that will exploit it. That's the risk we have to worry about. And that's as security professionals, as risk managers or managers of risk, as people that can assess risk, we need to know these things. So what do we need to know about vulnerabilities, right? So this is a weakness in an information system, just cut it there, that could be exploited or triggered by a threat source, right? And that's what we're watching for. So we want to know where vulnerabilities are in our systems, right? In our systems and our software, we need to know where these vulnerabilities are so we can clean them up and get them taken care of. Because, without the vulnerability, even though there's a threat, if there's a threat against us and we don't have vulnerabilities, then there is no risk, right? So section 1.6 of Domain 1 contains these 17 items. And we'll cover these in an individual video. So race conditions, end of life, embedded or lack of support, improper error handling, misconfigurations, default configurations, resource exhaustion, untrained users, improperly configured accounts, vulnerable business processes, weak cipher suites, memory and buffer vulnerabilities, system sprawl, that includes in your virtualized areas, architectural design weaknesses, new threats and 0 days, which we talked a little bit about 0 days, but now let's look at how they're a vulnerability, and improper certificate and key handling are each of the subjects we'll talk about within this section 1.6 of vulnerabilities. We're looking at vulnerabilities, right? So this is what you need to know. We're going to go over these each individually in an independent video so that you can find them, so you don't have to time sequence through them. But this is what you need to know for the overview of the vulnerability section of Domain 1. So as always, I'm Jim with Cyber-Recon. Hopefully these help you, get you where you're going in your cyber career, get you moving as a security professional. First step, if you haven't done it yet, get that Security Plus certification under your belt and keep moving. Come join us in the security world. We need you, and we'd love to have you. There's plenty of opportunity for talented people in the field. So come join us, and as always, like, comment, subscribe, comment below, hit the bell to be notified, and be careful out there.